Hi, welcome to Lightspeed Academy. I'm Jim Cooper, and thanks for joining me for this Lightspeed session on using CSS modules with React. CSS modules allow us to avoid the pitfalls that are created by global CSS styles. So let's jump in and check it out. Right now we have a potential problem with our CSS. Notice that I've now imported an app CSS file in our app component, and we're still importing an outpost.css file in our outpost component. You may expect that these styles are isolated from each other since they're in different files and imported in separate components. However, all of these styles are global and shared by all components. To demonstrate that, let's add this div right here to our outpost component. Notice that it has a class name of text and displays the message outpost text. And then let's add the same div in our app component right here. And then we'll have to wrap a fragment around that. And now let's open up the CSS styles for our outpost component and add a text class with a color red. Okay, so we've added a text class here with the color red, and we have two divs, one in our app component that is using the class name text, and one in our outpost that's using the same class name. And if we look at our site now, both the app text and outpost text have been colored red. So the class from the outpost CSS file is being used by the app component also. This is because CSS classes are global even if you load them in separate imports in separate components. And this can lead to some ugly, unexpected conflicts. Notice that if I do add a class to the app.css file like this and give it a text color of blue, so now in here it's blue and in the outpost CSS it is red. But if we look at our website, they are both blue. That's because there are now two text classes loaded globally, and CSS specificity makes it kind of random which one gets selected. So this is pretty messy, and it's where CSS modules can help. CSS modules basically make all your classes unique and locally scoped. And if you create your React application, use create React app like we did previously, then CSS modules is available out of the box. So let's change our app component to use CSS modules. We can do that by simply renaming app.css to app.module.css. This naming structure is a trigger for Webpack that we are using CSS modules. And then in our app component, we're going to have to change this import to import a styles object from app.module.css. And then down here, instead of specifying class name using the text string, I will use styles.text. So when CSS modules imports our app module.css file, it makes our classes available to us as properties on this styles object like this. And if we look at our site, we can see that that's working now. And if I inspect this app text element, you can see that it has this class name that starts with the file name of our app module CSS file, and then has our class name and then a random text. This is how CSS modules makes CSS classes localized and unique. So this is working great. There's just one special consideration when using CSS modules. And to demonstrate that, let's change outpost to use CSS modules also. So over here in our outpost component, we will need to change this import to import styles from outpost.module.css. And then just like we did before, we're going to come down here and change this to styles.text. And then we want to do the same thing here. Change this to styles.mainLeft. But the problem here is that main left is hyphenated, and this is not valid JavaScript. So either we have to use bracket syntax like this, or over in our outpost module CSS file, we need to change our classes to be camel cased. And now over here, we can change that to also be camel cased. We'll do that for styles.right sidebar also. And that's it. Now both our app and outpost files are using unique and localized classes with CSS modules. And you can see that's working great. If you want to keep going, here is the next video on using Sass to style React, and here is the entire Lightspeed React playlist. And of course, please like and subscribe if you'd like to see the other content we're putting together. And thanks, and keep learning at Lightspeed.